So let's go ahead and conclude our naming with aromatic compounds. Aromatic compounds are very specific. They actually look like a cyclohexane. The only difference is these actually have, I'm going to put down double bonds. They're not really double bonds, but that's going to be right like this. So they have what it looks like alternating double bonds, though actually they're 1.5 bonds throughout. So all the bond lengths are the same. You can draw like this. I can switch these around. We can kind of move it around to like this. So I'm kind of switching around where I put these double bonds. These two are the exact same thing. So either way is written. Or sometimes they can combine the two. These are all resonance structures to something like that. But one thing to be aware of, all these bond lengths are the same. They're not really alternating double bonds with that. So this right here is called benzene. So when you see benzene now, that's aromatic compound. And again, we're going to name these accordingly. Let's go ahead. Let's do some quick examples with this. Few things with this. Always, if there's one substitution on there, that's always going to be carbon number 1. So we're going to name it just like we did cyclohexane, all these cyclic compounds. So this is carbon number 1. Carbon number 1. So it doesn't make any difference where you put it on the ring. It's always going to be carbon number 1. Now, you can name these a couple of different ways. So be kind of aware with organics. You can name these things several different ways. This one right here is a methyl group, and this is going to be benzene. You could call that methylbenzene. Again, I didn't put the 1 there because it's understood to be 1 there. This common name, so the common name for this is toluene. So they most often call it toluene. It's actually methylbenzene. This one right here, it has an NH2 group. You could call this aminobenzene. Again, notice that we're in everything in benzene for this case. But most people call it aniline. So the NH2 there, you can call it aniline, aminobenzene. It's the same thing. The same thing with this one right here. I got the OH there, so I can name the OH as a hydroxy group. So I could call that hydroxybenzene, but everybody calls that phenol. So again, we have to know the common names: toluene, aniline, and phenol. Let's go ahead and throw some substituents on there. So if I have something like this, again, substituents always going to be number 1. I got a choice between bromo and chloro. Bromo comes first, so that's carbon number 1, and then 2, 3, 5, 6. So in this case, right here now, I start with the bromo because that comes alphabetically. So I'm going to call this 1 bromo. Two chlorobenzene. So same thing as we did with other cyclic compounds. Look at something like this. Again, this is a di-substituted one. Fluoro here. This is the ethyl group. Ethyl comes alphabetically, so that's going to be number 1. Then so in this case, 1 ethyl, 4 fluorobenzene, Let's look at this one right here. Couple of things with this one right here now. I can name this one as a phenol. I recognize this as a phenol. So I can actually call this a phenol as the end of it. This is number 1. Isopropyl group is on number 3. So 3 isopropyl phenol. So in this case, I just recognize the stuff as phenol. I'm just going to call this phenol. We keep it like this. This right here, I have 2 bromine groups on there. 1, 2. So I can call this 1, 2. Again, I got to label exactly where each bromine is at. So 1, 2. 1, 2 dibromobenzene. Now, one thing I do want to mention, sometimes if I have 1 and 2 groups together like this, they can actually call that an ortho position. So instead of calling this 1, 2 dibromobenzene, they can call it ortho dibromobenzene. A lot of times they'll just call it O. O dibromobenzene. When you see an O there, it means specifically it's on carbons number 1 and 2 on the benzene green. Let's look at 2 other examples in which they have common names for the numbers. Say I have 2 chlorines on there. So 1, 2, 3. Could call this 1, 3. One, 3 dichlorobenzene. Now I can also call this metal. So that 1, 3 position, I can also call that a methyl position. So 1, 3 dichlorobenzene. Same thing as 1, 3 dichlorobenzene. The last one, in terms of the common names for this. If I have 2 iodos on there, instead of calling it 1, 4 diiodobenzene, I can call it 1, 4 could also call it para diiodobenzene. So P diiodobenzene. Let's just do a couple more here with this. This one right here, I recognize this as aniline. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is ethyl group. 4 ethyl aniline. This one right here, I have 3 of them on there. Bromos first. 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I call chloro number 3 because that's before alphabetically. So in this case, I would say 1 bromo. One bromo, 3 chloro, 5 iodo benzene.